Hello Stratters, welcome back. I'm Binkabi and this will be the finals of our Legacy tournament. And it's between a Grixis control deck and the oh so famous Painter. Kinda interesting matchup. The Grixis player has a few hand disruption spells, some counter spells, a call against command. Good ways to win. Jace is also nice because it goes through ensnaring bridge and stuff, which is great. So Painter better win fast. How is it with basics? We got a swamp, a mountain, and 3 islands. So we got a good amount of Blood Moon protection as well. So we're gonna see Sense's Divining Top from Painter turn 1, and that's something. It's a very good card, so it could help grind through the Grixis player's hand. Although I believe he had a Force of Will in hand and drew a second one for his draw, so that's good. Let's see if Painter resolves. Or do we get a fight here? No, Painter will resolve. That doesn't change that much, but it's always good to resolve one of your combo pieces. The Grixis deck does play 4 lightning bolts, a murderous cut, and call against command as removal, so yeah, we could even see a lightning bolt in hand, so not too likely that this Painter is gonna stick around very long. So let's see, it looks like we're gonna have a main phase Divining Top. That probably means that we're gonna use the spare mana for something, otherwise it doesn't really make much sense, I don't think. Maybe we're trying to find a grindstone, since it seems like the coast is clear. Or we do already have a grindstone, it seems. Yeah. Will this resolve? It seems okay to let it resolve, since you can kill the Painter and like ignore the grindstone basically and pick a fight against the other combo pieces. So there's the lightning bolt. I think the draw for the turn was a spell snare, which is amazing since that can counter another Painter if it happens to be cast. So that's pretty cool. I joked a bit with the one who's playing Grixis that it looked like he had a modern deck and just added the lands instead, and I mean there isn't many cards in this list that you can't play in modern, so it's almost a modern deck. Let's see if we respect Blood Moon, and it looks like we are. That's probably wise. All the cards that you don't have to care about from Painter, or rather, the more cards that you can make irrelevant is good. That's usually true, but in this case more than others. So spell snare and no red mana would make it hard to fight over this. We could see a spirit guide, but it's not certain that he has one. Looks like no. Or maybe he has one but no blast. Well, we're gonna do something else, otherwise you would not use Ancient Tomb. It looks like we did have the spirit guide, but no red blast. Well, that could also be a thing. It looks like it will resolve actually. So how is the hand stacking up now? It looks like 2 forces, a volcanic island, and a Snapcaster Mage. No, yeah. Two forces, a Snapcaster Mage, and a volcanic island. Looks like there is one more card, but we will see shortly. So Painter in hand plus another card versus a bunch of forces. The draw for the turn. Another force of will. Nice. So we have 3 forces. And I think that's a Vendilion click, so yeah, it is. So this will certainly come down at the Painter draw step, because you already know that he has a combo piece and you do want a threat in play. Yeah, this seems hard. I mean, you have 1 force plus Snapcaster, Spell Snare or Lightning Bolt, whichever you prefer. And if you can draw another blue card, you have another force. So it's not impossible, but it seems like a tall order. Yeah, Painter will go down. So that's 1 Painter at the bottom and 2 in the graveyard. That doesn't leave very many live draws. Lotus Petal will be played, and we will see an attack for 1, cause why not? And they assume something like play second top, use a top, and then if you find something like a fetch land or something, you could shuffle it away if you want to. Gonna use the top, City of Traitors, fetch land, and I think it was a white card, and that should mean Enlightened Tutor. And Tutor might be a better a better way to shuffle. Yeah, play second top. But then you need a white mana. Or I guess you have Lotus Petal, so we are gonna use a top here, okay. Fine by me. Fine by the Grixis player as well, I think. Looks like that will be the turn. So another blue card would be great. Yeah. That's nice. Just gonna flash the hand there. It's 4 Force of Wills and a Snapcaster Mage. I'd say that things will be rough from here on. So it doesn't make any sense to use the top to draw unless you can shuffle. So it looks like it was indeed Enlightened Tutor. You could probably force this. Because the top 3 cards should be pretty bad. But on the other hand, you could just let him draw this and counter it or kill it, whichever one you prefer. And that leaves you with 2 more counter spells and a clock. It's like 3 turns, I believe it would be. So you could just let this resolve as well, no problem. And if he attacks first with the Recruiter, it will be... No, that wouldn't change the clock actually. So down to 9 we go. Using Rhinestone, but that will probably not work, I would have to guess, unless we're tapping wrong, but we're not. Snapcaster, Lightning Bolt. I mean, if you want to draw out the last card, I think this is a better line. If you want more value, it could be better to Spell Snare it. It depends on how many Snapcasters we are running. 2. Well, then doesn't really matter. So in response, we're gonna look at the top 3. There's not that much that you could draw, right? So it will be bolted. Still gonna mill, though. That's probably just good. Lightning bolt, brainstorm. Well, in that case, it would probably have been better to not mill, but so the attacker will drop painter down to 6, and that means 1 attack plus a lightning bolt or 2 attacks will be enough to finish the game. So painter needs to draw and a call against command. Jeez, the Grixis deck is running extremely hot right now, I have to say. Doesn't even need all the force of wills. Might not even need a single one actually, but it's good to have them as backup. Oh, and a snaring bridge. That would give you a good amount of turns most likely, but since the draw was call against command, it doesn't matter. And it could have been forced too, but it's more value to call against command it. So that will do it. Alright, time for game 2. Could be the last game of this tournament. It depends on what painter can do. Looks like we have another turn 1 play, which is good, probably. Looks like a painter. This could be a fast one if this resolves, and well, it has to dodge a lot of hate, but it's actually gonna resolve and it's gonna name green. And I can see why you would do this, because it's super likely that the Grixis deck brings in Pyroblast and stuff, and if you name blue they could actually blast your painter. So if you don't have a blast in hand, which we can see that painter does not, then naming green is actually pretty smart. Good play. We do actually have 2 Pyroblasts in the sideboard for Grixis to flush the storms, but that's not super likely to come in. Null Rod is probably coming in. Rakdos Charm probably coming in. But overall, it's not much that the Grixis deck will bring in, but on the other hand, their main deck is pretty stacked against the deck, so. It does look like, however, that we have a probe into Ponder and no actual answer, so brainstorm, brainstorm, Cabal Therapy. So either you shuffle here and gamble on just drawing a force of will, or you leave this on top hoping that the painter player chickens out and does not go for it. I'm not certain which one is more likely. Either way, it's a big gamble here. Looks like we will keep them. Maybe try to scare him off. Maybe make him wait another turn to maybe draw a blast. So we will see. Rasmus has consistently gone for it on turns like this. Not when there is mana open, but yeah. So if this resolves, which it looks like it's going to do, it's just to go for it, because there is so few cards that could actually matter here. So Rasmus is gonna go for it, and that will be game. On to the third and decisive game. Woohoo! Okay, time for the last game of the whole tournament, and it comes down to Grixis versus Painter. Painter will be on the draw, which is not as good as being on the play. Let's see what we can muster up here. The first game was devastating for the Painter player. Grixis drew insanely hot. Second game was basically combo piece 1, go, combo piece 2, you're dead. And here we have a mountain. Mountain go. could still mean that Painter has the pieces that it needs. I'd say that this is a precaution play, and I kind of like it because I believe that there is both a Blast and a Painter in hand, and if that's the case, you could play Painter with Blast backup, and then the turn after that play Grindstone with activation and Blast backup. So that's good, and it looks like we're gonna have something happening here. I'd assume a young Pyromancer, because that's actually the only thing that makes sense to play in sorcery speed in this deck. Pyromancer. I also know that the Grixis player had trouble sideboarding cards out because, well, all the cards were pretty good. Besides like Baleful Strix, that one I think got the cut, and then all the other cards are good. I mean, you could trim down probably on the Murderous Cat because it's unnecessary, but that's basically it. So yeah, it looks like we're gonna have the Painter here, which will also double as a moat. You could pick a fight here with the Force of Will, but that seems so bad, because it's so obvious that we have a Red Blast. I mean, it's not, I guess, 100% sure, but it's kind of hard to imagining the Painter player taking an extra turn just to fake a Blast. That's not good. And this one will name blue, which further confirms that it's probably a Blast in hand. So now we will go on the answer hunt, I guess. A Ponder will be deployed, elemental token will be produced, and we find Brainstorm, and that's all that I really had time to see. Brainstorm could be interesting. Looks like the cards will stay. Is that a probe? Could be. So we have Force, Pyromancer, Skeletal Scrying, Ponder, and Volcanic in hand, it seems. Yeah, they will stay. No, they will be shuffled. Okay. That makes the most sense. We're basically looking for spells. Snare won't do anything. We're looking for Force, obviously, and we are probably looking for Pyroblast, I'd say. That's the two cards we're looking for. And if this isn't one of them, we probably have to go... I guess Counterspell would be live too, since we had another land. Looks like we're gonna Ponder again. Yeah. And another token will be produced. Young Pyromancer, blue card, and they will be very quickly shuffled back into the deck. So nothing of interest in that pile. So now we get another chance at a Blast or a Force of Will. The Grixis player already has a Force of Will, obviously, but since it's pretty likely that we will see a Red Blast from the Painter player, another one would be sweet. So we got double Brainstorm as well, so we get to look at the top 3 cards to try to find a blue card. City of Traitors. That's good. And there is the grindstone. I imagine that this will demand an answer pretty quickly, otherwise you will lose. Even a lightning bolt actually would have done it with all the pondering. Young Pyro, Jace, and there's the lightning bolt, but it's too late. So if we do have a red blast, I think this match is over. Force, pitching, brainstorm, and red blast, and that should be 3 man over, right? 1 from city, 2 from ancient tomb. Yeah, we're gonna say an activation, and yeah, a concession. Painter wins 2-0. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, it really helps us out. You can find us on Twitter at MagicGathStrat, Facebook /MagicGatheringStrat, or on the web, magicgatheringstrat.com. There you can find articles and free prize-supported leagues. This is all brought to you by our Patreons and cardhoarder.com. If you enjoy this content, please consider supporting us at patreon.com/MagicGatheringStrat.